Yama edikafum we na yema hunara adwuma makwaba ziba 98.3 FM do. Yefi Student Center in Ultramodern Studios. Ewo North Campus University of Education woniba na inde yimbrisu yenhum edehye. Semunya te ahyensunjumi oye national agenda na nembra so a yede rebrahum kwame anamwanyi menda homase de inde memende yimbri eso kitababosum na da otodo idona wotwe magingwa na mubeti hindwumezi. Yes, de se eko oye Facebook ebotum ahwen wo ho botum so etie www.uew.edu.gh na is wadwentre afa WhatsApp 0503923158 text message so botum da afa 0503923158 no say eko Facebook so abotum wadwentre no so bi the afa oye Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM ibotum na is wadwentre is afa hoso is amahena yakankan ewo oye dwumezi do me abegofo ewo ha na me mahon akwaba mpemfu mahon akwaba
ejoso anamo
mejide bibia boko
nyamia do hoye
edemi ase nti na so me wo Tony Samuel enyi Dennis na wo ha a wo bobon ma nsama ode apondo metum za abraham me buafo sonkon ya bright fuga me executive producer King but me executive producer Collins Kofi Awuku ena me technicians here Osman Mumenin nye John Ata enwan na worboam ma nesu dwumezi mezi Abraham menda homa sibio na mema homa kwaba na enda so eben komo na yeredi Sir John da pina besin kwe nsempi no sisi Sir John oye ora kodwo uso free ye nche oye peyinzida Forestry Commission ono ninsama so hon samba ye dija ewo omanemu ora Sir John and ora kwadwo uso free ye do ata friend Sir John ninsama so won ne baby chede oye Achimota Forest bibi ye nedi na za oye nedin odeja ni nchimba weja hon the marathon sakumono Ramsar site ebia ehon obiara ntena ho abana yi eja de ehon oye nsutai se nsu pimpim na se nsu yira ehon nsu nyina waka wonanya wokọ na wokogu na ehon nso wochede oya noma ahoro wotafim biambia ehon na wo so wakaje hona ho wokọ holiday wo nti se be wini ba ha kra wo muni pomade Ramsar site wo ha hon nchenhihye min onyinde obiara edine saka nso manfo de wansar kaka message John na nche oye peyinda Forestry Commissioner no nche owodo hudi we hudi ema nen samanso no chirim de sakumono Ramsar site ebia want na ho nsunkutin na ho ye na bian nsutina ho ono so ne diwom na daminsemi na yebedin komo no man pen na ado wa hye nkropon yimensi assembly ahoni na de nsu biara osi adan biara osi nsu kamen ana nsu ka biara danisimin damadan wonjurungu iya nsha omanpanyin izama oye Metropolitan Municipal Industrial Assembly sa owo omanemu na danu yedi nkomo kakrafa oye terrorism ho na aban adan hihyiedi de yedi bodewur afa oye extremism nkrofo ahon de mmoja na oye hon dew wohu mmoja na wa pabo bibia wodi bon wokumi pa na hon anyije dem nkrofo yi hon dwuma no wopede wo yi honiti wo manemu nti abana hyase de worye nkyerkyere de yenduado na omanfu inere hu de nyipabone bi wopede woba na ye inera ode ya fi yinwa na ye de hwe hon ye dem nsemi na semribma yebotum na ye di hu nkommo na yenhya se minko Tony ayi Sir John ne well na mjide ehu na eben samdam na owo well nemu na omo should be forever na since you the new word in town you're forever omo should be forever na omo Lexus ni bi na Lexus na Infinix na Cruise na omo be forever it took now also of 5-pump action gun omo should be forever
wow I mean I'm T4 na nchia pako ewechia na Naya Waterworks na Moses economics or is it social studies level 200 also to program Moses baby a ubiano ya chiao ɛne adɔfo bebree a anwummere ɔmo tie ɛna madam ɔno nso ɛwɔ ɛyɛ nnua anaasɛ small gate hɔnom no da baabi a clustered stores no wɔ no madam so ɔno nso da bia ɔde afidie no to ha ɛtie nti ɛne adɔfo bebree a ɛntimi mu bɔmbu yɛdin no yɛ mɔma akɔ aba nso ɛba dwumadie no so well sɛ John asɛm yi deɛ ɛm sɛ week wei nyinaa no ɛno na yɛ asɛm a ɛgye hini ne ntere ha paa ɛwɔ ɔma wei mu na nipa a yɛka yi so no na ɔyɛ nipa a na ɔte ase na ɔdi mu paa a deɛ ama no asɛm no paa bɛyɛ contestable ne sɛ ɔno na ɔsan yɛ pani a ɔda forestry commission ano nti under normal circumstance sɛ bibi bɛsi mpo anyɛ wo pani no a woda adeɛ no ano na sɛ yɛkyekyɛ a wo mpo na kan sɛ wopam nkɔfo firi hɔ na wo a woyɛ responsible sɛ wobɛ protect the very thing na ɛde wato ano wo you have your neck deep in it ɛna ma no asɛm no ɛyɛ obiara nwanwa even though Minister of Lands and the sector minister
Lands and Natural Resources.
Or the anu yaba, but I think say enu nyina no emre ne nkrabia na ebekire. Na ana mo I think say asem no answer na ebeku no yen hwe asem no far by. Me hwe say edi mpo na ma president na na do dan kwakufu ado. Ejitu mu say obe declassify Achimota forest ya edahwe because forest ye chirimu a tawana bro ni kokko wa ha yi na omoje to ho mai somewhere as far back as 1927 thereof kire se chesasase ni podi enka nye Ghana se nokoro eni ha anka nya ate anka si san di hu nkomo bi yese mpanifo se aso ye dada de enso he obi
sure
ya se ma kan se ba na anka nye the ownership of the land is not in contention at all because you can't get to hold that. But your politicians, yeah, Gazano, and your ban because successive government have played role in the scrambling for this particular, parcel of land ayaking. Because Mahama ban AYB or Yibi ma Busian from we say family. Because mwa sa ba kwam say dabla every year bi on person mo renew every year bi the home person mo kire say mo na yo there and the politicians no so they have find some space where home say that is a cash cow for them the yanso yenye na so yenye maybe you also get something from it because we hear sequence of event Mahama penso ono no ayi bi ma busuafo no almost say na 118 and an other president also I could declassify a whooping 361 acreage, of which I don't know. Maybe do 2030 don't have an sound because you print one and the account is in Avesa. And the assembly at that house, and assembly at some annoying. And the might have one say. None other president declassify a portion of it. But we had a sequence of events, and I am one. The idea as a suddenly president sent it to the EI and as an executive instrument na nkasa within few days you answer Sir John so also ne the AP was it that it was a pre-planned something and I said your motu to anoma ho na mo de be kire mpanifo say anoma be ni anoma so de ne takra na de share so. So like I'm looking at the sequence of event. President is our son, who answer Sir John so in the world so happy. And I can say it's an common way or maybe an answer to say a bruchira or more J rule of law D na or more answer more J democracy more deep on practicing no more practicing ye. You had the end we are experimenting. So some of these things to me they are not new to me. This be out Ghana. I had the be upside down. And just had the Azanka at what point, and I said, John, a year well at all. Because now no other president I sent it to the year, I said, drew 2 weeks ago. Meanwhile, I said, John, well, no, so John or car baby said 2020, thereof no car baby. And this it is more of you are taking a fruit from a poisoned tree. And as I didn't know, and can be a kind of cry because Satam no I say it was an illegal. And the American say the Kababia and Maria Juma American said there is nothing before us to discuss because as at when or yes I will know. Even though minister say me and Jean too, but the young fan says as it is now no. As at time said John yes I will know. So I'm Rebian who actually say as I say no as a dahokwa and I'm a boy. A just or no sata no we but Oma will no one can some say city a hammer no nyadia a da any da hope fee. Any da hokrana ye no ye checha no. Just say ye may any brain ye share assembly because the ye I know I didn't put now more declassify because this is a space that we are guarding jealously. So it will not, you know, you will not deplete it because we hear the greater Accra, and that's Accra PC, Accra metropolis anymore. That is the only green belt out to one year who said that Accra. They have concretized almost every aspect, every part of Accra. That is the only place I think it serves as a team, a number and as several purposes. And Tiana can one somebody, I don't think I can say if we buy a penny for us, you were near. As you did not say you were born. Or more, that is their wish. And I think that minister, and answer the sector minister, also at the correspondence be about. I said when I say baby, I know the home and we are, but to me, Sir John, the any particular, I think he did not address the issue because. Where Sir John, or can't say why you will, ama ne wafa say he has a parcel of land, Chimota Forest in one. Why in the name of Honor Sir John? It was in the name of a company. So you shouldn't go and tackle Sir John, not directly, because you should tackle the company.
Who is the owner of the company?
So that is where so we have to deal with because
the company exists because of somebody.
So, but Yenti as I said, the company is independent of the person because you can register something in the company's name.
Who are the shareholders in the company?
That is why I think the minister dealt with the tangential aspect of the issue, but he did not deal with the issue directly. Because there's one thing called Sir John, there's one thing called this company, and I'm also what I say. So, Sir John and said, what about the company? Let's deal with the company because it was registered on a proxy. That's in a way, a company demo and a register. And I'm also what I say, one cancer, no Sir John was say company, or companies, and I'm a boy. We were expecting the minister, say, one man who said this company ABC because Sir John money didn't say or parcel of land or say in the name of these companies. They say what they are saying called court. Court we can say there's nothing before the court because Sir John doesn't own any parcel of land in there. But these companies and as well.
No, them companies in one other.
They one no Ghana. So if I think you should have the minister should have hit the nail right on the head. Not to because the company is independent of Sir John. That's what I want to clarify. And I'm a council what to say. Send a bay as I'm no young court who be no, but company needing because he was explicit in his will, no say this company ABC and no more, a portion of the land. You can then Achimota Forest, but I can't say no Sir John will be. So why don't you mention the names of the companies, but rather tackling Sir John? No. So at a home, I think I can say minister no. Yeah, who say or more than self say will deal with the matter, but to a home who said it was
on our show cade. Oh yes, I'm a winner for us. Lands are all purported to be belonging to Sir John and will be reversed back to the states.
But Sir John doesn't own a land in these companies.
Company assassins to be reverted to the states.
So why didn't he mention the names of the companies, but rather Sir John? That is why I think it is more of a diversionary tactic.
No, you see,
when you go to court, they will not. The court will tell you that there's nothing before the court because
and the courts will deal with documents.
So then they will tell you to go and refile because we are talking about Sir John who doesn't own land.
He owns the land there.
What is the name of Sir John's land?
It is in his will there or assassin and then why will assassin forever to the nephew
assassin no din better that's
whatever into whoever assassin obosumpo no yenta Ghana baje.
Yes. And this anchor ministers who are boy, and anchor mobile companies needing. Then a buyer could do because court deals with, verifiable fact. Who do honor, but can't just say, no, money, this or land, was say these companies. So I think to cut the long story short, no, as the ministers are attempting, so about boy my money, you know, and mobile companies winning as a mono. Munni asase bi awo ha na ma meboa because Sir John Cass ya keken eno de say da ho but the what is the national interest and I say o ma munu nyina ni di akiri ene sa land ya na sa achimota forest ya da ho but to me now I think say I'll call for the reversal of the EI itself. Executive instrument now, President LG2 Munano. And I will add my voice to those who are calling for the, the reversal and I say the suspension of that particular, declassification of the land because a hormono baby tum se had the to because it's the several purposes for the nation and crown because Nansiala was it just and I say last year and our president Omoko Glasgow Moko Kasafa
COP 26 or so.
That is it. Moko Kasafa global warming. Now say idea will pay who protect and feed the science. We see that thing. So it defeats any idea be or my muya see we are this year targeted 20 million planting of trees and I'm a boy. In we are person you do you know and you pay some person you try big go because onya can say who declassify just some wait me the biara. So me who also wa bo parents say what say wa niswa de hu say obedua nua but nuane bi e wo ho no wo san twa bi agu dia then what is idea I say you don't have any direction bia and I think say the SC has opened a Pandora's box and in a way say ya me ya because kurubi abeko su bia no ye wo ensase wura e wo ho na kurubi abeko su bia there is a forest so axiomatic say those forests na denya we have the original owners. But now, so my money, you say Ghana is a unitary state. The number be one ma, ya jet to say Hana the Yenja Hana man. So we have two lands and vested lands at Ewoho. And I'm also what I say. And the simple can the ownership of specific lands now. There's no ambiguity in that. Yeah, once I see clearly defined a mine mudia. And it is clearly defined a musia for a day. And the anchor baby or man, dunya film pony baby say who owns what because it is clearly defined by because of say conflict of interest and near be a cophobia person because of abuse of power. And some of these things I think they need that some person more frequent be so day a whole crime because ukun grass and I see that whole it will grow. And so ya dia tum sense as we dey ya my money nyina dey na your friend of forest and in the one fofon wo ho and fofon no na say akoye stool lands na amam for do di so ba kwaye pese bia kwaye bia o my money nyina mo wo across the country nyina dey Ghana nyina ye dey and they say obi aka say ene ye nso ye na na mo dey aban no dey na obeye so since me crown, I think the issue of old family say more only water. I think you should say a kind of once and for all because yes, in a way, as I said, we are opening a Pandora's box for other people to also call for maybe some also being your mother because I see be a baby originally a wabushing for your mother. And the fans are Accra Sports Stadium and the young can say ebi ana busu ebi so asase na da ho ndo mo so ko kan say any Accra Sports Stadium no originally ye na mo asase ne omo dia what will be the response from the state yes jihad and I think say that diversionary taxes now kofu big year now they just hide behind the so-called owu family no more because they own the means am with me the ato because anonymization it here you can say more tron one see the bi ayen bi but mo no the moment they declassify it no owu for no can say to a mo na betimi asan akoto nya sika for na betimi asan akoto and they say omo angaza as woton wo bia na wasan kuta ni dua mu anu bi na yempani for na eye no ba yes answer na ye boy o abro nti ade we say John dia na baba I think there is more to it e bia na de ehu no eye ni ani and I will add my voice to those who are calling for independent investigation into this matter even though the minister responsible no hwehwem ne ayi. But I think as a nation no yenya empanifo with nkrofo a omo nim ensase ho nsem no na omo nkɔhwehwɛ ensase nim na se owu family no once and for all no se ebeyi bi amomo na aban bi emma so kaka se meso no koyi bi amomo because obi so yi 118 obi so aba beyi 361 wa hu obi so ba na on de obeka se yeyi ni nyina na se man ba mi ne atimu nti se ne be ya asem no de se dua be wo wani so de otu ase yimtwa so nti I think say successive government asem no omo di ho agoro saa no anhwa na obi so ba no so saa no be see once and for all no there should be a committee obehwehwe asem no say ho behia say owu family no omamu no nyina ajutum say an eyamo de nti yeyi bia mam either say you I think say you shouldn't give the land to them in that aspect by maybe could be say a bit metri music a bit more music in cash say there you maintain the integrity of the ecology in that house is here no by akoya say yanka na asa akoya say bola suja na ho na obi ba no so abeye foforo dia ene na de ne ye hu.
But what's in 1941 would you is it 4,000 pounds?
Yes, by a penny for no
1950
the can you penny for no minimum or munim say ade na ya told that I think me say the ownership nkrata ho but enam say yenye na entafre ho bi no na amam penny for na ko wi omu say because adwan me ye kan asemi obi yeso obi wa enka na chi asem but Bible no says we ye ni yanka wanim te say the odija ichire ne ye kan ichire asem na me bo me kai say tama mo ba ban fufuro no unso no ye lands and as a forestry commissioner no edu ba bia na amamfo twetwa nu agu no se minimara if my memory set me right o kan say you hu so bi kotwa aye mo no tu ananyo no kan sa say o ka sa asem na obi obewura forest nim bia woni krata bia say so kotwa tu kotwa dua bia say ye mo no tu meanwhile wan kasa na o make come out of this some of the directives say now you have your neck deep in it to the extent that even Ramsey site here wo ho nyina so who sound so assassin bi wo ho no na say the empanifo we abuse of power so what I say abuse of power and conflict of interest some of these things emrana need a hope fee but na mo ye baby e tie ne de o kan say emrana na because o munim rana nkasa na o ma dan no mo ye ne de because enya enokra ne yenka anka asase e da ho kra na it has not been declassified or no timi anya bi amobi so at as you and now Adana president I sent it to that EI meanwhile no Assad maybe you don't know when the bill in the well no or shall say but I know it in you but no they can will be wo and I think that the bigger skeletons in the cupboard I think say you see nyada jena you're investigating meticulously so that you get the nitty-gritty of the matter. So I say you two asem na sheda. So what I say because to me I think that we are chasing harmless hardflies while the hyenas are devouring other animals. Omo di bona cuz I think say they are there. But I say John dey na akọ yi bebre aba.
Some so why bi.
Why be? But when be and yam who say a bisu a baby honor yenya and can. And the assembly baby do no. And just you two share that beam because a baby in a way try to dance around the whole thing, but they don't bring finality to it because the ownership of that space, nothing says is not in doubt. But now say ubia person here no so be free I say ye because Kofo Penswa man for the cancer. Kofo director say the peripheries and I say assassin no one and I come yima owu family no and at time say buy no suspend now Mahama be apenso ba no mdo so ye beyi and almost so muyi 118 Akufo adon so buy anybody and am say the triple of what Mahama did hey enti yentimi ntrama no musa no yentimi ntrama musa because oh yes sir na medical kan asase bi abekoso bia asase no wura ho ba nam se nyina ya je atum so ye o man ba ko de bibia ye nyina ye de ano ye yi nsase da ho a ye o man mu ne dia I a forestry commissioner they are guiding jealously against all those areas and be a man for enkum because the hinterlands na omo ankasa omo te ensase no ho no omo gina nsuo ano so no omo nom tansuo before benya baby kura do adidi no just forestry for na ba be yi asase ne bi dey emma meanwhile so omo na mo de o ana ti na omo twi omo se ka omo ntimi nko forest ne mo dey enkodo but this omunim say or my muni nyina na ya tum say ha forest Ghana forest. And they don't just go there without the consent of the leaders. They hadn't na Accra then is it because it is in a city nti nkofo bi dia asase bia wo ranti hiding behind the so-called owu family nti yenyi bi ma I think say it should be asema ye be bring a finality to it. And my so hence I know you get that leeway now. Any government that will come also want to find its way. Send a almost being a space because see I say the amount old family is okay assassin. Ya cry genuine year to Toma as he can phone and Cassan and be assassin. So now question one Casa no more person munya quina muye development hall. Oh yes, was say my son declassified. That means that Ubit might be a person in VSBA. Ubitimi kura the so me kura kusi ho. Meanwhile, you know say a whole ecology you have other species in there. And so what they could see when I say more industrial area, don't we think it will have it will pose existential threat to species around? And I think say team here who say now other flood the flood not a flood in this year cray. So now your bubu. Meanwhile, you have this space or green belts now team absorb some of these natural disasters. But also person was saying I think say we are not doing ourselves good. And as someone also say when you can back compare na say ye two shed that say I think say na more politicians be there one gross anti they are be a eye opener to obia we could actually say same be oh because enye Accra nkwana your state land it sounds so say be bad dey baby out say a bit more ba say because hypothetically what has happened a bit more ba say before so na say other forestry commissioners and so di bonu baby a ehwe in the minister no man mfa nani enhwe ha nko a onfa nani so nhwe other land commission and as the land forestry commissioners na mo wo mia na say nkurase a bit more ba say bi mo kura asha say kura dua kokko Ghana forest ni mo aye the way should be eye opener even though the aba no enye ni jesem ti ana mo think say Sir John asem no de baby adunu minister say oni asase bia ho but my position still remains say so also person we Ghana good there then almost companies now mudin wo ho no because Edwan cancer on one kasa say Edwan was say we say companies we omudin mu and all the was say wo na no boy so person boy there o ma yehu say these companies also do not own any parcel of land there. So now there will be clarity because your court of any say John Dinier the company's name and if I could defend it. Okay. That will be my comment on that.
Yo, Obiara or anything your court because them greed yenchendi war from grabbing here and there. Waf ma nsumpo no war from Ramsar site or a baby or your phone nsutaho inti se ko ase ya entakrufa opimko ya okwa Ramsar site. Na bibi kopuma na bibi so akọ Ramsar site nti ehwan na all the ebo ho ban we can't be here ma Sammy them revelation how do you take it say I don't know why obi today say John you should although hodi Ghana there was so be where one can have someone we all accept but who are we papa ya ka Kwame Nkrumah de bia ya ka Kwame Nkrumah never had one room for baby.
Some are partner to the body.
Inti what's the man can't be away? So you're right and thank you, but why you're wrong? So you should say it.
No, correct. You're in chair tea for your mama, Kwame family issue. You might be so. I'm in chair Rexford. Say, oh, tea. Issue need another day. And as a very competent lawyer like Sir John, Wangasa, we a lawyer on your own. And now, when you said this is a forest reserve, meant for the country. And as a area of land now, demarcated here for the state, were once for certain people, and Omajaya at all. And so much so at Majaya no at all for the just for the benefit of the state, then I think we have to respect it as it is. It's very important. So, I says that kind of selfishness and then greed, and one of the banes to Ghana's development. Quite fascinating. Making sure the state should function as it is. You see, maybe we just need these institutions to function. so maybe things will work out as expected. A very, unfortunate that as a chief lawyer like us, Obi says John. Now what involved is such a very, excuse me to say, such a tricky kind of dirty tricks or do stuff, and yet the best for the nation. One thing I am then said the minister not take his stance and to make sure that all these lands are reversed back to the state. May Bombay will be that kind of the cool ahead and to fight hard to make sure that what Timmy and make sure those lands are reversed to the state as he's saying. Because there it will surely be some kind of obstacle, some sort of people coming in one way or the other, trying to make sure somebody secure and then to step in order that Ometimi as succeed to take over those lands, and then as the world demands, and then it will work in the interest of the world, and it will really not help because and in line per the constitution, article 269 and making it but we read the article so it and try and create some sort of clarity in a boom. It says that subject to the provision of this constitution, Parliament shall by or under an act of Parliament provide for the establishment within 6 months after Parliament first meets, after the coming into force of this constitution, of a minerals commission, forestry commission, and a fisheries commission, and such other commissions as Parliament may determine which shall be responsible for the regulation and the management of the utilization of be responsible for the regulation and management of the utilization of the natural resources concerned and the coordination of the policies concerned. So we see that it is about managing and the utilization of those natural resources now. So John was not only responsible for forestry commission. Exactly. Then how comes Onono was involved in land matters? This was direct for the lands commission to do that. I just say something went on and so it is important as our matter we acquire or fast the processes of acquisition. Our fast what the acquired side should be interrogated to the bottom. Who say how was the whole thing? How did the whole thing started? And who were involved in this particular matter? So never interrogated the issue to win those lands back to the state. It is important because state property now that has found its way into your world. It is very unfortunate. It is very unfortunate. I mean, I don't know. These things really is killing the nation, and I say more rise to that level are able to benefit. And then those of us are down, we suffer the pain of or the aftermath of some of these things, and it's really not helping. Those lands are not. That's forest reserve now down where lands that were meant for certain people, and those are lands of Accra. And they say, if it's a statistic, then it means that there are a lot of people who also coming to say, fine, and then it's also our region, and therefore, yes, we're stepping into also make sure say, our share of that particular portion of land, and therefore, by the end of the day, the purpose of reserving that particular forest has been defeated because of selfish interest. You see, so I think if state and demand rise to fight corruption and to make sure non-compliance then these are some of the things that will continue to surface. Because I know some of these things go pop up, but we all sit down, we have some discussion over it, and then it's gone. That's all. And then it remains as a matter that is as if as in see. Then the same thing continues over and over and over. So when will we find an end to some of these things? If you anti-man punish it, and the state has that power, it was 2 minutes about punish acts of corruption and then acts that are against public laws. But I'm saying we are so reluctant on some of these matters.
Oh yeah, and you should know why.
Well, yes, but me can say are we reluctant in terms of punishment? Very, it's only low key because matter we once I could do court and say we be the number of years a genuine here and there on my corner the matters management to the next one. Now if I could do point where even we begin to lose focus for the whole issue and then we also then won't say anything about it anymore. Not just a null matter, and we're going to talk about it anymore. In the same thing continues. So it is important that the state should begin to punish non-compliance to laws. Or mom go contrary to the demands of the Constitution should be punished according to law, in order that a bit must serve as a deterrent to any other person or member office and then intends to toe the same line. These things will help, because that kind of acting is simply not the best. And the mode of acquisition should be interrogated, else finding out to ensure, say, what were the processes involved, who and who came in, and then you bit me, I work out to make sure that Onunkwa should not be the point of another focal point.
There are others.
Why yet Onunkwa just get up to do these things? Other people were involved in these matters, and then we need to get all those people on board and punish them according to law. So that best serve a deterrent to some of these matters. Another issue, I'm also looking at it from another perspective of asset declaration as also one of the issues. Once a Bimumba office and you are being asked to declare your asset, we are in a manner that some important businesses and some important investment we are making. Those ones are normally concealed. Now, if you want to share that, and then even the asset declaration law itself, we don't even obey it as it demands, because I also will make every single thing that is in your possession before I assuming office known to the state, and then before you be time I'll be exit the office now, you need to be accounted. You need to account for all that you've answered a check since you came to office from this term to this particular term. Therefore, we need to check what has come into your possession for within that particular period, in order that you be to me attract some acts of corruption and some acts of embezzlement of state property and other things. Then we can get those things back to fight and take them back to the state. But yes, way. And the other man answer or in a manner that or to share in a role, some sort of indirect act, and the others even doing the names of family members and other things. Or no yet the direct entity involved in a particular matter. So by the end of the day, we will say the tracking becomes. But saying come to me, follow the Act 550 of the asset declaration of public officers, and then disqualification act now. That will say it says that you need to declare direct and indirect asset. Those that are in your directly and are in your possession directly should be declared, and those that are maybe related to families and other things, all those things should be made known. And then by the time I will exit the office, they should summon you before SRAJ. Making some independent inquiry into some of these things, and then return some state properties that has come into your possession through some illegal way. And one of the best way of dealing with this particular matter. And yes, Sana will always continue to sit. You see, a kind of recurring story. Kasa, but by the end of the day, nothing is done about the situation to curb it from repeating itself the next time. Really, it's not the best. But I am really really disturbed over some of these things. The way I am because within this particular country, and people are left off the hook. You see, just like that. Just nothing is being done to track the process. Kasa. And Ghana mna question ana sententa and I can say for no farm no moko. Then for no farm you waka. You understand? Because this is a very big public figure or involved in some this particular matter. You will know the way this issue will go, and then it's really not going to help. It's really not going to. It is important that stance that the minister now take, should work everything within the power to get these particular lands back to the state. So there be some future occurrences that are likely to surface, because say Niema cost this way, then we are really not going anywhere as a country. Really, we are not going anywhere as a country. And then this act of indiscipline people go through, and then by the end of the day, we leave them to go unpunished. And then say, politics now quite say. And then you will own personal gains to that particular it's not in the spirit of the nation, not in the interest of the nation, but on our interest You understand? And all call for it. And it's really not, it's not helping the country. Some of these things, and they set back the country in terms of development because we are not able to comply the policies. Institutions are not working. Who watches who? Just say government is so reluctant with some of these things, and then they continue to have their way through. See, in fact, we say DNIC for all well-meaning Ghanaians and all those who are involved in this particular matter who have to rise to the occasion. Somebody a bit to me, I'll nip in the bud these kind of acts are and then that is bringing the country in terms of its development. It's just not helping. You see, so young until we are able to punish public officials for non-compliance of laws, will continue to be, these issues will continue to be recurring just as we are seeing them, and then there will not be any sort of end in sight. You understand? And sometimes even a bit days because I'm work and then this is an issue I involve with. My party member is involved in some of these things. And the Ghana's corruption that is being based on the state, and the government in power, really is not. It cannot be possible for us until we make sure that those independent institutions, SHRAJ and other institutions that are being mentioned by the Constitution, we allow them to work effectively to deal with the matter. Until that is done, a bad day fight corruption, to the latter. So it is very key. So it is important that Yebetima make some kind of, we empower the SRAJ to begin to be making some accounts to SRAJ. Then this matter would have been known even earlier, before now. The right steps would have been taken to return these lands to the state.
Okay.
But those things were not done, and therefore really it's not helping. It's not helping anymore.
Okay.
It's not helping.
Madasi, Mamimko Dennis, Dennis, it's an issue on many year asset declaration regime. There will be before you assume public office or there you declare assets. Sir John, most of the Nyama contained in his leaked will now 2017, 2018, 2019. These were the period them assets in or acquire a dying a mensa himfa ogbojo and all that. 2017, 2018, 2019, all those years. I don't know, but are we serious with asset declaration as a country? Because all but not declare any assets are in che, you know where to take things from.
I know, Mama, that's say, I'm a conya, say, me in Chirama, Sir John issues. And if I conya, we see so, I wish a very instrumental lady in my life who has been very helpful to me, honestly speaking. Wabwame, old school say. And today is her birthday. I would like to take this big platform to wish Efia Jenim Boaten Herda a happy birthday. And I wish God blessing upon her life. And I pray say may God locate her with all according to all her needs. I mentioned back from the all kind, about declaration of asset and other things. And I think say whether we like it or not, politicians will always have their way out. But I don't want to talk too much about this Sir John issue because I can predict the end from the beginning. So this is one of the political, issues.
Uncle baby.
Okay. But Ubusa question, Ubusa, I think say if you have to look at the question carefully, you understand say a lot of things went into the will of Sir John. But why only the Achimota one and I pop it up? Okay. So every commonsensical politician will know for sure say there are some state properties who are untouchable. Once you tag them at your own peril. So if I'm to comment on Sir John issue here, I would just say, sir, it won't be different from this kind of official 1, official 2 jet issue. Yeah, see, come what may bend in a way, good idea. But I think they touching on this I mean, state property, the state will not let it go. I mean, undiscussed. Until you better discuss it, and I think that intimate could be private individuals. So, because if you allow this particular property to go into the hands of the private individuals, you will do it at the peril of what you are praying to break. I mean, that eight, breaking the eight and other things. This is one of the most huge or serious political scandals that I think is quite unfortunate. Yeah, so it's very scandalous. But I also believe, I don't want to preempt what is going on, because as we are speaking right now, there has not been any, I mean, original document or proving beyond reasonable doubt said the airwaves, that is the fact. Because yet it is will be about official 1, official 2. As at now, we heard a lot about the double salary issue. We've not heard anything they could see yet. So Sir John issue is one of the ones politicians issue, and Ghanaians should hold their peace. Say, come what may, that Chimota, I mean, forest will not go into the hands of the private individuals. If the Chimota forest is to go into the hands of the private individuals, it will be an indelible, historical, scandalous issue that Ghanaians will never forget and forgive MPP or Kufuor's administration. And it will be very wise, very politically calculated for the stakeholders involved in this issue to make sure that they probe the issue to the latter. And the crew, Mama Aswati. Yeah. And I'm always I don't want to talk too much about Sir John issue, because when said that I one of these politicians type of in discussion, and I think that we say that we should even be wasting much time on. I think that
have you lost interest in the state because of Nyama? And the what template? Ghana, there is a template for politicians, and a template for Nyama yenti baby. Into who wasn't all your wash what template and do no rubbish as summon. Now him is in the template no ye juma. That is what courts would to say and a dream and no what in. From the comment either you have lost interest in the enterprise.
Yeah, said the entire Mama Kassan said this is not one of the political scandalous issues I had to know anymore. We hear a lot, but we knew who you yeah, official 1 issue yatida, double salary issue yatida, yeah, who do you see? But I can just tell you, say, with regards to Sir John and Achimota issue in there, it will not be like that double salary and other things. Okay. Because double salary and a evaporated material substance. Okay. It took okay. Salary, some of these things it will be very difficult to retrieve them back. Okay. And also sa official 1 and other things and so but asset ya bon by wow go to date way back 19 something. Now also obey well the amount be I think then MPP and come my ban should be abamu. Certain things we need not to play games about them. Okay. But also Usha technically the contestation is that why not Uno? Why not Wayland if it is true? Of which I don't want to preempt. If it is true, say, well, Wayland, some of these, I didn't know Uno Forest and other areas, and they won't really be among these private organizations, not Chimota, because of its geographical location. So why is it that politicians are always interested? I don't want to talk too much because as at now, I don't know. I don't have any factual evidence that prove beyond reasonable doubt say that is a fact because of previous happenings. Never be Bromaka after na yentima no crabia wumbia double salary yanti de kwesi official 1 de anti de kwesi But achimota issue we say there, I think say politicians so munya fat and crowd they will massage it one way or other. It is about time that Ghanaians should begin to understand the game that MPP and NDC plays in our politics. Yeah. But I am very, very surprised and I say, why is it that anytime some of these serious issues pop up, you see an unfortunate kind of disaster relating to it? All this while, Lands Commission, if what I saw on the social media is accurate, documents in Swan to Enframa Hurricane Katrina was saying, NC Antwerpia. Now, immediately Sir John and Achimota issue popped up. All of a sudden, I'm going to say, ensure about maybe more. The same things in the sea, one of the issues they see as well, oh, Tema, and also, yeah, almost Jatoho. These things are enough. These things are enough. I don't want to talk too much because I want to rest and I want to speak more about the anti-terrorism issue. Okay. That is the most pressing issue that we should even be talking. And these are some of the things that, these are the foundational grounds up terrorist issue at the AIA. Because every terrorist activity is politically motivated.
Okay.
Indeed, I think that's a John deal with the old upper market and the Quack to say Adano Dinibia. The MPPs, I mean, the Kufuor administration knows how to massage and change the facts and other things because it will be very dangerous for them to be tagged by this particular issue. So, Wakoton or manager Padi in Adia, hey, Adia, they say a global environmental issues in this area,
global warming.
Warming, yeah, you know, also Coton, dear, they boy in Massa Galam say. My junior, not a book, oh, Chroma, and also by home banners, and also most babaji. What kind of logic is
so?
What
you can't will it
forever? Will no, really, and they are really okay. But we say, and yet a you, and your Bushian or your mom, a Bushian Japadian or the Aqua will a man, Kunipo, way or manager Padi, 7 year 20 kind. This then a private individual or call man, yes, I know, the sick come. Nisika come, we are then, and again, never saw it yet. And okay, the uncle Bichasso. Okay. Oh, Cotton, what tongue, Alam Sins, as soon as I am in a Cotton Achimotas, and China San Abaton, any penny in Akahu. Hey, Mum, just out to me that the Omuka condes out to me, and I will a copy the armor will be anymore.
Intina Crawford suggested the Ghana one ton now what on now because he has the cavalry, your cage money at the butcher.
And as a political science today, Lucas will make this comment, but I think that the way she contested son at Teddy or Montono to be a once in
watching Ponson because it can 391 billion cities.
No, some idea I could show why just carry a color trade, say to say Dutch and that's will be no. You,
but I did the lasting solution, and I said. Ebemia ended the whole issue and say, ye are now president, no assent it to no. Either he will suspended or reverse it. That is all. So I say because say in see I am you now see am famu so.
Yeah, well hey, and when they abana bibin wa kade menya nyeda.
The obeti me I don't know because if the place has not been declassified, how do you go there?
Have you seen some
that is the only thing we can do. Because
and when they be
and I make there is always the first time.
Is there a precedent?
Yes.
There, Aban Bakade, Manye,
Given the outcry of the public,
people are calling for the Wumbun Kuntanchanye, COVID-19 Sika Winnie Azawazaye. Have you seen it? Yehui.
Anamwa.
Anna Kobada Achimota assassin, we are then 10 years to come. See who's a private organization as a Sasa say William Ubun Pakron was signing and command Butu.
Did you have a president Bitima Yano? Because this one it is within his prerogative. We only say we parliament needs to control because a presidential discretionary power.
The National Cathedral. No judges what who. No wubu adan was in cher wudan was the National Cathedral. Yakobon Pawum. Ghana them pabo we are good at it.
So it is if they are claiming say they are protecting the government the public purse and any other property there then omonfa we any experiment me hwe cross me na mekai me indeed the best thing they say that ye I know on suspended or we die when you feel because after declassification, that is where Nkofo will get away to go. But if the place is not released, I will be anti
But brother, Tony, do you know that this particular way say that any can people for best society and as a coup for administration best society because the person, the central actor Nankasanwu, into the integrity, any other things matter.
Okay.
He is not alive. So alive or alive there maybe your banner is oh any sad you and crew man as be there a bit more gumenima and I say. Ndi we are done away the umbit ma we keep be found. But what I say?
Ndi and one no only free ho sai I no or not men am the bam am saying my tria sign and one no send a bear because one mark will be anti minko. So I say because until no that was signed no na sa document we my say no be anti minko but one hour bema who can send ko. So this president no tie the Ghana for nyina can say me na me declassify it I have reversed it or have suspended it. I think say that would be the best thing to do because you see I am na me yamfa musu afun nti untimi nkọ so ati say
Meda say 0503923158 0503923158 botum ze wadwen kire aba in the topics are na in some other pondo I share yes John no wo yin access declaration Achimota Forest in Sakmono Ramsar site ne baby also dam na busuafo forever. President Nana Akufo-Addo wa share oye mensin Yikropan Assembly de nsuka biara obi esidan wodun ombungu. Ini it is yet so sami president ne directive obobo ama dem annual ritual nsu tope na obi ande emhihye etum na abawie ana.
Okay, so me who directive now was a little bit perplexed. Now I missed it. As a trainer, my semisi and sana sorry say you be providing solutions to what is going on. Accra flood and every year we keep recording issues of flooding every year. And I mean who share who any serious measures are buying a team adopted to mitigate this particular issue. Be already extracting some sort of information from the Auditor General's special report. I reveal as much as 170 million cedis was spent between 2015 and 2019 trying to resolve this particular flooding issue. And I even the Minister for Housing, Francis Senso-Boakye, also indicated that 450 million has been spent since 2017 on this particular issue. So, and flooding.
The president Naswaka, the 450 million.
Yes, has been spent on this particular issue. Since
for the money was spending one.
Oh, not still this. We keep recording the same, despite the size way I echo down the drain. And now, out of this particular incident, you lose about 1,446. I recorded about 1,446 flood events. I killed about 510 people, and then 309 people injured in 6 years. But we had this colossal amount of money I cut down in fight against the flooding issue in Accra. It is just unimaginable. But still, by this time, we should have seen signs that really we are able to mitigate the flood situation in Accra. But I'm saying you even quarter into the issue. We keep recording the issue day in, day out. Our faith now, always they be a maker. That we act like the proverbial vulture that learns to put this house in order when the rains begins. Yeah, always trace it when they be a sem kusia. The South District Assembly now might charge you almost that they should demolish every structure a year on water way down. That same District Assembly and country and town planning department.
Town and country planning.
Town and country planning is within them. Until one time I put up those structures, where was those officials? Yet they are even paid for. For what they are doing. But until I was not I was a little bit disturbed over that particular matter. Even though on the waterway it needs to be dismantled. But me na me intend to do this particular stage. I think Esenka really instead of pulling down structures here and there, those people who are responsible for country planning should we, I don't know, go on attack them to make sure that really they do their work as expected. And by the end of the day, everything's been reduced to the ordinary citizen on a suffer these particular pains. And on you're responsible to ensure that the right thing is done. Is rather left off the hook. Why all these things? To pull be container and I say, Ebia, one room be a wetimaya on so or the he found none particular person of a cobium. Even though we're on the waterway, we understand that. But where was them? Accra Metropolitan Assembly. We are responsible for some of these things. Where were you? Normally, we sit aloof. Just say we are office. And the ones are here appointed to do this, then reduce your duty to the office, the 4 square room now team. That is all. Be and check anything. But I think of these things, once mostly some of them will put up certain structures, and then maybe a structure is in one cause of this is a waterway. But by the end of the day, when some produce a stop work, produce permits. Then you can swap a baby, I feel BB then we are saying that let's demolish that particular structure. And you understand? So let's not. It's not be a point be a fast year and really is not helping. And it's a particular issue, even though it is in China, we are trying to respond to the flooding situation.
And see, but the directive are problematic.
It's a problematic directive.
Okay.
Directive. This is not the time. Yes, you take that particular directive.
Now, you kind of catch a landowners and although catch town and country planners.
They are responsible for that.
Okay. So many a serious country and call there wash documents for assemblies. We can contrast somebody and be a special prosecutor. Though unshare documents for various assemblies.
That is it.
Especially at Daniel CC water courses and no one should there. They went for permit. So one go for permit, then are you free to go?
Exactly.
Now so call from permit, then in Panara. On my permitting, he pay for the structure. No way, you pay, they dismiss you, and then we will done. Two things.
Exactly. This rather they should be attacked seriously, and not the ordinary citizen. You understand? The more reduce your duty to Nipana and any responsibility to see to that. So, what is the essence of your appointment as or your employment as a town and country planner? So, some of these things really we need to look at them. We need to take a second look at some of these things and make sure that they work. Sometimes some of the district assemblies are almost non-functional. What are you even doing? You understand? Yeah, every year, or when they are reading budgets, they allocate budget to these assemblies. What do they use those monies for? You understand? Where does the money go? And then by the end of the day, we reduce those difficulties to the ordinary citizen. And then we say to say, I am this, I am that, I'm. You see, we need to be serious as a country. I say, begin to make sure that the institutions are working. You see, baby, about we need institutions to work. Let's have the institutions to work. Let them function as expected. And I enjoy some kind of tactics now. Sometimes we do play around certain issues and then play with people's life. Look at the amount of money I called down. 117 million and 450 million Ghana cedi. These are huge amount of money, sir. I call down the drain, but still we don't see any kind of positive effect on the flooding situation in Accra. People continue to live their lives day in, day out. So, you tackle the issue from the its effects, but we don't look at it from the root. What is the root cause of the problem? But I'm saying, baby, blame me, but one blame me, baby, a cause of so we shouldn't be, tackling issues from the top. Let's deal with matters from the root. What is the root cause? Honor any responsibility to see to this, and what has he done? So we need to fire those people and make sure that you employ people who are willing to come and work and are ready to commit to the call of duty. Stand by me, to us, we want it. Instead of always waiting when it's a situation after they are sorry. Then we all call into town to check those structures that are on waterways. Nama bubu order. Obu or uko bubu ne maybe a 4 for the 4 square also they serve as a dwelling place for the person. where would that person go again? So do we sit down to think about some of these things? And the move bubusa structures now. By the end of the day, Sani Panahin Obeko, Ebia, you continue where would that person go again? What provision will be made for that particular person? And we are in a country where normally I'm taking some of these steps. Do they even consider the aftermath? Or more found one day will take the decision, if taking the decision. You see, so this particular directive, in a way, was some sort of effects because you tackle the issue from the right source. We tackle the issue from the wrong source. The by then you the train within in less than a year, some structures will spring up within the same places. And then you still have the same situation repeating itself. So I think they will have to rather, instead of say always or more reduce or more always putting their tentacles on the citizen, they should look at the institute, go back and check the institutions who are responsible. Every activity within this particular country or institution we are responsible for some of these things, and then this lies squarely in the hands of the district assembly, and then the municipal and the metropolitan. We are responsible for these things to be planned. Make sure the town is properly laid out. Who will proper lay out in a particular town. You come to really yes. When some of these natural disasters wouldn't have any kind of effect on them, but because you lack that particular planning, just a basic idea. And therefore, when you say they beginning with a structure, and then you come and write produce permit, and then later on they come to produce the permit or do whatever. As to whether indeed they produce permit for what they are doing, is even questionable. So, some of them want even try to interrogate them to produce papers in relation to these particular permits, and they won't get them. Yet, as officials in the municipal assembly, I'm not saying that but I think in a way, what they are doing is not enough. They still they have to get that from the chair. You understand? And always make sure they monitor town. We are responsible for some of these things. So you monitor activities in town, what is going on, and then we identify certain structures that are, we say, maybe a structure we see is likely to cause some sort of flood. Then we begin to take measures to make sure that you stop it from the onset, instead of waiting for the tent to get to a certain level. Then we begin to fight it from the top. You understand? So really, we need to, I say, you step it down to make sure that, so instead of or contracting for those structures to be demolished, I think there's assembly should also be looked at. Almost look at to make sure that you will be going out to demolish structures down. Okay. Exactly.
Okay. But that's it. Dennis, if MMD is nationwide, what has been their push? Because they be when you didn't suboto and there are places over flood and so what's all. Although watching ma abang and now my payment directive and sana why you mana.
Anama da sana. Gana yalio. Sabi alepa. Oh, say you did sabi be him there. You see, when you say something as it is, there shouldn't be any sabi. Because we know, but we are pretending as there we don't know. I don't mind also. Man, I don't want to shift the whole focus on government ni MMD as for near force and high for. The point is, one casa only miss a man has say. So, Obewa Gesso Kuratra, I'm nice with me, triple jump, I'm maybe. We had done a to mean jump on for so. Even now, a better my bano. I said we see King. O MMD is for Munimajuma as Oklahoma government president Kassan San Wasarako Juma. And I think it's a multifaceted kind of issue. Why should you sit there? And I'm was my made my best squeeze. Our Kumasi. No matter now, my men far from my home. I say, as I'm speaking, I'm in the solution idea. Nti ana mo yesku ya yekwe pa no ade ya nsua de na anase echiwempo babankwa ne ye di so unim bibia kra weather na nkasa be kire say time say raining season nti say take steps obetra ho atwen ama high authority ama we ama order ansa na wasore akoye your problem pa your problem pa na ana mo menka some we say na men to say na menka but e be bia ni kakra you see when you see a madman, it is not the body, like the stomach, the hand, the eye, or the leg that is having the issue. Anything is in the consonant. And what they chimaka crabia, it affected the rest of the body. I think say your problem pa your leadership problem above out to the stand say papa bia enti panyini I don't think say omo MMDs for no omo yang crowd omo to office who and I say and I don't
it's a from pa it's an office.
Oh,
it doesn't matter age wise.
And you know, I don't bet my year. And I say, bit say MMDS for no. Young my family, Dennis MTS here. Ebi a mean said the name dear cost what takrade. Huni Valley. I mean, him be a funny at the mark. I could know some a you. I'm a foul be a indigenous person. I will him terrain. And him say, I say, in so ta, I say, choky, I say, why wouldn't him say in so time as soon? Aye, since woman, no cinema since a viema. Open a catcher as a queen near man. And you these are just common sense issue. But one thing that I want to just put across is that the word common sense is common, but it's not common to common people. Because we say you need not to be told. And I think say you're paying for that, we should be very disappointed in them. In as much as we are bashing our leaders, we should also bash ourselves. Because also we sit down, who say assassinate the man who say we in so also kotena ho. Abana message here obeka say Ekufuado aban one few MMDs for no men few as one kasa assassinate the man no. So be an kan chiro say land expert for kopa kan chiro kopa. Wa wonu say in so mu na akosi dan see. Uwie so asa sabola na de gu e feature ho na in so to awuja gum no. Na ka asem na ba be fa me. Kofi Kinata a video be on social media is here. Very, very hilarious, but it speaks a lot. What's that cry? In Sota, they are carrying a pool party. What is a Kumasi in Sota? What is a Kumasi and Swing be they were a seed disturb a clan a course?
Last year, when young, it is sort of.
Yeah. It means that the geographical nature, I said the land, nature of Accra, and so water, waterlogged. And we baby how we see him you trust as them say amount at the amount 100 million and so as we say the amount 100 million coming in this 100 million and there's some whom because when you assassin for into so here I brought him as we say baby I turn brono out turn so no as no water beton will be a 1 billion but the free pen to work or turn in so no see so now as in so you don't have a baby family me am a tear make us say is here me hostel I'm calling here. Me lecture catch them say Memphis carrying in ama papa no but now I desperate me discarrying in ama Luves am fancy him in so trap be general say na ye na me am fam ho adwene some next time some mo bi ape host ama me dey na come here John me am ape ma dey okay because any part of host ma me no we no any part is very good onu say papa na be papa na anye and we say it has served as a lesson to me okay. But I think that Ghanaians, I always say this in a philosophical way. So when you're confronted with the problem, don't look at the problem, look inside the problem. Inside the problem lies the solution. We always look at the problem. But inside the raining flood issue, there's a solution to that effect. And what is the solution? Housing
what's the 450 million a year?
Enti u kosi u kwesa housing project now dan ba ko de mo bi almost be 3 billion here nya so kwa ko bo chaos e de akosi ensuo mu. So there is a solution to this problem because we show you Rwanda to Uganda Pog Kigami bi am show ne structure bi dan bi a wasi a wapeja nkofo ni nyina de o mafiri ho no so u ya bibi sa na we wage so de nkofo ni nyina e ko ho na o mo mu nsi eyi a we are responsible citizens. We will comply to some of these things. But in the situation that you build houses for only the bourgeoisies and the only middle class people na ye for me ntimi ye be there certain be so man ye beton sa sin ye si dan nti sika na wodo ye nka sisi sika wo injected ya kosa ne menim nka wodo je bibia sa me nka sika wo betimi sa de akoya de foforo. We need to think futuristically. We need to plan not in short term, we need to plan in long term. If Accra disaster see ye nyina yentime nhwe bibia mfrim nyamena na ye ho ya no mobile ma suspending nsuo no ton na ko so sa je mu sa be 3 days 4 days anke ye nyina anke sa be ba we ne ba se e nyina week ye mo se wo mo ti weja area o nyina mo evacuate o mo do mo free side o ya tran sa throughout the whole year from last year up to this time ye ntima evacuate o mo afi ye hu say adne very dangerous ne ye ko evacuate o mo ana mo no asi
yo medasi 0503923158 0503923158 Tony Ghana serious as a country na
oh serious bad obia Ghana ni bia okra sheda de tono so serious we can say nyame a
okay
onwa kasa nyintu we are not serious at all I don't know Americans these are devolved institutions because o man we hwe o mo ya dem ra sha o mo sa sa o mo hye mra the parliamentarians, so what I say, the legislature, but you have devolved and also you have transferred power from the the legislature. At this have powers in the Bibri ama some of these institutions, the MMDAs, I don't know your friend of bylaw, until ubia within your jurisdiction, depending on the situation and the circumstances. What you share home right, you used to govern your area, and omo emre bi and as a power bi as omo dey regulate the activities within these MMDs, they have it. Say by density homra when yes e parliament mo ko ma mra say koyesi ansana amanfo hu ba bi so musi dan, they have everything. Inti ana one pass they be and they seems to throw their hands in despair as if say they don't have those powers. They have it, except that I think they are bereft of ideas. And this come in say yes is awosoma abofra unam de eto ba utrimu nto ene president nkofo adom ko sisi hwe say if they were quality enough and we will not call for say you are establishing a monitoring unit from the seat of government and say where baby are one sanka nkofo na edo sisi baby no anama ana nkomo ye na adwuma am to say the president wo pa ankenya ne say every now say from your end you're establishing what a monitoring unit and not the quality of people you appointed them into the various offices. So I can win one power na 2 minutes ade am omo bibiri no omo use say 2 minutes and regulate omo ho same market can bibiri and obi ko si dan a okọ assembly ho no na ye wo babia just say ye wo omo hwenu ane sem so ye wo mo a by environment which is the sanitary inspectors omo wo ho e ba dancing so ye wo town and country planners wo ho they identity na say nipa timnya ho akwanya so ko si dan bia kire say people are just not doing their work. That is what they have checked their responsibility. That's the dereliction of duty. When bibia, but they tend to remember and say they get reminded whenever asemusi, so they are reactive. So I say they are not proactive in any way. But this say number there, I think say you don't need some of these people and some of these offices to be there as a permanent say ad hoc and I say set ad hoc committees be send your flat in this year no more because year in year out and I say from every year be and I say every month mo koko yisika and this sika na mo idea who sika na every month salaries na mo because say you take one another be a flat and be assembly and I didn't see you omoka now no the ya nkofo ya I say omo hia what is it allowance ya nkofo so closer for allowance am say neutrality allowance adwuma be no omo pe ho neutrality enye omo na enwuma we chehwe omo sa e wo mu se timamufo no bebre na asoden but oman bia no ye demra na regulate human activity so person hu se nipa lawless ade san na se traffic light so na be ho na be hu se nipa or your lawful and also on your lawful. So what I say, nipa lawless say bibia and also bia en control and also bia engineer nature and know who the true nature of human being. Enti, you know, say it is accepted as any power no by the SO. I don't want to blame the citizens much. If the laws are there, the laws will regulate the activities.
Okay.
But sir, MMDC, DSA are more. Some of them no juma be breach or monster has some of it. Nti I didn't know what me a man of work with sit down baby and so musi. More kasa, even though Ghana for be so incorrigible to some extent to say sometimes a bimutimi could sit down baby no one kasa the that red ink na kwatwetwere ho. Stop work while brown that has not been sanctioned by any official. And you do honor now will be deceived by like sad na ya twere even though sometimes na your officials na kasa na kwatwetwere but most at times no na ye sa Ghana na say nipa na kasa we sit down no because him say ya baby onu a wusi no e ho nye baby as wusi nti onu atwere to ho nti be duru ho no mo na nye obi na be ka atwere say baby akọ no edi ka for nti e bi ya na sa inspectors yi be kọ no na o mo di kan so be when ya menu abahade ya no mo twam but like almost so adwuma if they are doing due diligence as can you can track it as to where say baby e dan si no say o nkrata free assembly but almost so they mo kwa you know they don't do anything once o mo nanam. And I'm at the back also as MMDs and as more officials. Or more year hard when I say they are always calling for one power to the other. You don't have jurisdiction over ABC because you don't have prosecutorial powers. You don't have the power to demolish certain structures. But why don't you coordinate with other agencies? So we are NADMO. More than say maybe you sensitize the people about some of these occurrences. Fine, but you have the assembly which is there to oversee the demolition of these structures. To what extent do they engage with them? How do they collaborate with them? So you don't need to be cloaked with all the powers in the country before you do your work. I don't think that is their mandate. But what can you say? Abu Ramadan, who is the director of NADMO, my interview was, you don't have the power to demolish some of these illegal structures. Why you shouldn't be cloaked with all the powers and so on. Why? What was the recommendation? What has been the recommendation? Why Yama and Kofui? They don't coordinate in any way. So I'm not can't say we need to me. I'm not the because unless we need 2 minutes in answer way Juma. Even walk around one casano, not move. A Juma now my money at the Ashaman. To what extent no more yini? Even if it is about sensitization, do they do that? And I'm when we say not move for ejina baby nkyerɛkyerɛ ɛma Ghana for they even no kra monye this is you talk and sana who say not move exist meanwhile every month you go there to mukɔ ekoyi musika enti me hu adwuma asa mpanifo mu ayade o mo sisi hui omo ye ba ma we na atimu no me hu say ya yi obi adwuma out of incompetence me ti bi da na ya da beti bi na wi ase be say aban ade obi aba was you because of incompetence no me ti bi da me ti bi da na bi so nsi wa ha ba buruchiri de ho na say Ghana ni enya adwuma no on wan ka sa hu say ba bi amadu de maybe sorry to say me nyansa nuru ho nte say me si form na obi o the technical know how metra ho unti bi o ha say Ghana ni nankasa in his own volition or can say baby amodema baidie me nim die e wo form timi nyanti obi mra meye no ye baby ye tie na kom ne ye nti no untimi ye kwa na obe force no atena ho nti some of these things no and e cause these programs year in year out they are a perennial challenge for us because you don't appoint the technocrat. President never nkofo mobo anoma na ye in the campaign. Ono no de nebe kwa NADMO coordinator. Ono de nebe kwa town and country planner. Ono de nebe kwa ABC. So these people go there and they are bereft of ideas. They are just there enjoying the cozy of that's a cozy and warm offices now. So they are just within they are just entangled in their area. Among Kobe they don't do anything. But so who say NADMO for a year Juma Pana say and you year for be no more do mark show much akopaja akorabi no the nature ensue that is where who say NADMO ni a year Juma I know much a picture no my interview kakra, oh we are team rescue or so we are now ascertaining the situation, we are now assessing the situation. So before you come out with some donations, and is that their duty? Is that their mandate? No, some of these things I think say flimsy excuses as I say you taught us so. And to see a percent flat the necessity important no be ye dia and ye man peniphobia dear Juma show Masanya Juma because young persons should be either funny panel. Into your day not mo see ho, your day town and country planners see ho, and other agencies say more. Send a bayer and you any a day and far Ghana for. And it sounds so a year district and municipal engineers. And I'm boy. We have engineers there. So what do they engineer actually? You keep on grappling with some of these perennial challenges. Hard, meanwhile, every month they go out there to withdraw humongous amount from their account. So I say, we are trying to do a quota for the state. But so these engineers, what recommendations because some of the flood now because Accra, there are certain areas flood in the AC there are some engineering aberrations somewhere. Engineering recommendations and as engineering be on year and so on because AB engineer and as an architect be then a plan by no to what do they even check? As a Accra and other areas I feel we are flooding. It's because next year, but before flood in EBC one now flood another. As a trend, it is assuming higher proportions rather than say be reduced. As engineers we do, we are pan or engineer recommendations. Ben or Modia Madia buying. You have also be a Yamaka. And the President Kufuor say, I'm maybe asking us, I will say, will establish a monitoring team from your own office. Just and Kofona. Odo mosisi baby no dia no working nti me MC me DCB na some important me bisa akoswa I say I should bow down my head in shame because it means that mama president no ask baby odimisi mentimi anye I'm incompetent.
I'm an incisive.
Yes, what man incisive because you have been given all the powers. They come enact bylaws. Enti na omutimeje o marketer anye MCs and as say MC MMDs om take it and I'm about emuni to me aka muntimi ye so they have all their bylaws are ometimi there yes I know but omonye corruption because me kwa say engineer na akọ gisika fu bi ho o ha betimi afele because baby answers o mo fele na o ma fele esi down ho so nsuo no so nim say nsuo kwan da ho nsuo no de yes you can suppress it will find it cost. And this how corruption we say no si can get ayaje no de waje nkwa de ahye hu but you jeopardize the life of many others and more honor. So enti ya kan no ya hwe ni here because bosumi bia etua amka and na me say omo no ni ani wo bia nti omo no say wa de ni ban ko si won wa hwe yi a ni ban de obeya no benti president say mri bia ba na say oti monitor to me say nkofo na do mo sisi honom no they are not competent. Most of them are not competent. So I don't know how they even assess, how do they even ascertain the performance of these people.
Okay.
President on assessment, how does he assess them? Because we say what them for this was assess we see there just nkofo no mo no omo ye adwuma ni yi enti going forward no you should begin say nkofo do mo sisi enwuma no either say be fire or you start that yes corruption see and say ye ni pa fi adwuma as a Ghana there one just say one who be has find himself in a scandalous issue be and say na ye na fi adwuma ba say pa ni pa no one month ye na fi wo there ene dey see. So when you say yes I think say a basa parents say adwuma be no moti hom they are not doing anything but now my can say so no district assembly common fund it comes in quarterly basis a bar na because last year e ba nyina no district assembly common fund was buying we say ya hu say mo say 450 million Ghana cedis and are more invested. And the omodi shemu anka says like if shemu say I think said you would have seen the manifestations and me I have a chance on a certain document I saw 73 million out of it but I don't know how somehow they arrived at that 450 million Ghana cedis and the district assembly common fund no omohwe na ya nko because ye kanyina no nya ofi hu nsuo na de no na adwene enti se omo pese adwuma so omo ya de ane na aban so no to da bi ada sa district assembly common fund no so no eno na sa MMDs no eno abi na amode ye nya nwuma bibiri ba bi wo no ma they have to distort these gutters but sika amode be kwa na ye den enti ye kan no aban so no Most district assembly command found mo hwe na eya content e be kokwa na time na mo de ko no content the ni nyina so e den e ka ho na sa MMDC and sa MMDC so no they have the power. I say they have to engage in income generating ventures, but they don't do that. They only rely solely on some of these, and as a district assembly common fund. I think say going forward no yen hwe nkrofo am ye do call these district assemblies. That is why some of us have been calling for a strong institution where you get some of these MMDCs so more year juma. Because local government is effective in Ghana. Can say no we ANC, but local government system, no, I think say very weak. So, president say what team monetary team, I made them who is passing vote of no confidence over Ankofono on one Casado Mokohono.
Okay, but that's 0503923158. 0503923158. Mr. Butumzi. Adrian Chen is the ABBA 0503923158. Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM. We are coming to you from our ultra modern studios, or Student Center, North Campus, University of Education, Winneba. Dennis, me yennes eya idun komo ye anti-terrorism campaigner Dani Omapena Bidichi, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Olonchin. Them new campaign, then kwa never for the Naya Magano Fuina, Wotum was what I shame. And them threat of terrorism, what's all about Ghana? Is it real?
I think that this particular topic here, there, and no way I'm trying as my undergrad legacy, vigilantism beyond election. And I think that terrorism, it is one of the most difficult terms to be defined. It is very difficult because of many variations and similarities. It will be very difficult for one to define or distinguish between street criminal offenses as against what really constitute terrorist attack, let alone to even launch anti-terrorism kind of movement. In the terrorism very complicated.
And then it's Mesona Yafa, Mekoli.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Paco.
Yo, Dada Nama Paco,
Yo, Paco, you too.
Yo, Nakasafa, Achimata Forest, no, Kaka. My able to me, Aka, ever said, Yamping Fona Banio City. Forest here, Adia. Yananano, maybe sure that God is back. Now, brother, no what the forest was at sea. Obani, Danenka, Chima, and be cry and farm my ass also. And also so called no boy album. Your best flat forest and them one journey intact, Monaho. One journey intact, Monaho. Nasisiano, you seem there, politicians, you know. What temper you to know what kakaka yakuma ma you to know what status away basabasa Ukraine and yafe I didn't na on money japadia na de abinum pada wofa na won wode ma webusia to the extent that why will cry with the forever. I mean ayanu ngwase say John and woman who sang near my way nara and catch a yamping free. Madam, you did there, or she cemetery now. I would do me cemetery cry to say, oh, be there, will I never. And you're fair. What I say? And you're fair. Into your best son and a kufado, a grass a marker, mainly, unjam. Na Yansanka forest, no, na M1 as ecological system. Maya Hunten. Says a climate change, we should have enough for Nara. You know, the right now cry a deep forest, our forest reserve. And yes, so cry. So I said, we met him for many and you're fine. What I
say, I want to hear.
I can a disaster issue, no. I on my paying say, Umu done, and no one. Your man paying Wakasa, Namum Casano, Ayadin the Kaka, Usande. Unka to na same way flew over. No man paying sister, Unkofia watch away new Bobu Mendan. Nasa made one court, Nasa court. Kada, yes. onye approval from the authority nti dana mo abubu no mo compensate na enye kaso no yɛ da aboto ma no do yo ma mpanyin aya no order sibi wɔ hɔ a onye abotere kakra we no it should be something or they will advise moderately no obi wɔ hɔ na wo kasa asɛm we tia na ra obo nse wa akɔfa no wet cap no obi a ɔne no wa asɛm kora no ɔpɛ wa fa kwambi do or the asɛm na japade nti da ma asɛm no yɛnhwɛ me feel my last topic me di me feel me nisa me di terrorism now was terrorists was it war bagana no meaning say we are foreign terrorists and I say we are local terrorists because local you know the metuma kasa Ghana hano ya go through some sort of terrorism in Ghana and now your police feel what when and not police people na fan is like state security we kuni power chi and when from journalists for police ni kofa ayi suspect de no kwa wabonatu I mean all these things are there who are every akumatu or the amayeti mamufo no na one was working outside the rebane de yadam payin fo ase se wa ka chen na mum ahwe yie na ode nyina la yehwe na ye boye ho ban se sankofu we wanya dan won konya yenso no wadi nkuni mo yenso ntina ne se ye be ye koro na ya hwe say what if you see something say something ya be koso na ya ye me fi de kakra metu maka no one wa bejafo wonye adwuma ai
yeda se pa ko Dennis na lekasa na pa
yo me das pa nti ana mo anu bi no aka no me long as a research am here no it pointed to that direction so we have a fertile ground for terrorist takeover reason is if you have a state that have proliferations of vigilantism groups any year, you shouldn't even look external, you should look within. Where are these people after election? If some are recruited into the security area, who are these people and where are they coming from? Which side of the vigilantism are they coming from? Probably they will not go and employ opposition vigilante groups and other things. So according to scholars, they are saying an expert would not call an action terrorism unless the perpetrator have some political motivation.
Okay.
So how would you even know this is terrorist action? And that's other thing. They also say another expert by the name called Hoffman also talk about terrorism. Or make a statement to be said or say terrorist activity is defined in 4 elements. Now the statement to make here not very critical was it if you want to know how terrorists behave, without these 4 elements you can't define terrorism. 1, premeditated. 2, politically motivated violence perpetrated against non-combatant targets by another subnational groups, and they are always clandestine. You can't see them the way they operate. So I can tell you, if I'm to give you a book to show how terrorists behave, you have what called the sellers, leaderless. That is leaderless sellers. You will not see their leaders. So, promptly as a terrorist attack, the question you should ask is why Ghana? Why Ghana? It means that there is something that they are politically motivated by. It means that grounds no
fertile
for them because we have these disbanded vigilante guys who went to gyms to build their bodies and some didn't go to gym, they went to some of these malams to take some powers that will make them bulletproof and other things. And where were you expecting them to use these things for? So I think one of the things that we need to be very careful. To conclude, we need to know the difference between terrorist activities and street criminals. Because they see American and say a student at classroom, actually person like munipa, would you say a terrorist attack? And I say, excuse my language. Say, Kremlin, the Kudi say, you know, compared to a terrorist. But you check Ghana terrorist attack neighbor, and if you look at the happenings, you will see that the reason why the national security went to the chief imam. We need to interrogate it. Why did he go to the chief imam? Because you know, if my research pointed to one direction, say most of these vigilante groups are extracted from Zongo communities.
Oh, okay.
What do I say? And most of these terrorist groups we know them to be Islamic descent. I'm just speaking as an academic. So logically, it points to the fact that we need to be very careful about the way. But launch, you know, in the space of 30 seconds, it looks like we are still joking. Did you see what happened like yesterday? Gifty was a empress, gospel artist, has been given an ambassador of terrorist awareness or something like that. And these things, when you see them, you laugh. Because appointed as a moja and say, making sure say Kata World Cup you were the footballers in here for Basia is logic. Give to minimum educational background, minimum credential. So security
look no national security
airport. Now give to now man you know so on awareness near you know. Knowledge no, we need
in political appointments, one share knowledge, one share background.
Putting rounds. So, into inform your security expert, point to professors, much conflict management and other things, or more Legoni,
Legoni professors, one come
because they are not celebrities.
No celebrity, they are not part of
issue of security, and we are just playing games with it about celebrity and other things. What kind of some of these things, they are very annoying. And mama minjana minimum.
That's Sammy, there may be some. This is a national issue. In
fact, really threatening. Senior Makano, if you see something, say something. You see, security in your one direction. Security a double-edged sword. Yes, we are multi-man for your responsibility as far as security. And so I'm making this indication. Not just on my detective baby, on your signs of, you know, some sort of attacks, external attacks, and therefore it is important. Say, we will be strange around. Maybe I won't put them out within a community, society, wherever you live. Anything that will be unusual, please just take a step. Report that to the police. No me be found. I'm not responsible for maintaining internal security. And so anything stranger, please report. Can be. The entity is who be can be. Maybe I want out what I'm for maybe 4, 5, 6 years, 10 years. For the past 10 years, I was still for who share them who be a woman, which means that a suggestive of something, make a step. Until I see one time at Metabo in Babaso said, look at this, you know, community, and then Hana police station, Hana police station. So I think it is important. Say, you bit me. We just go to the police station and then report the matter to them silently, and then with expertise, we may take up the matter and then make sure so that such people are tracked in order that they are punished according to law. Until my tenacity, my so security, more responsible for it. They can't be everywhere to monitor these things. And Tiana and SSA play some part, a role in it, and then make sure that we feed them with some of this strange information, and then they pick it from that route to also assist us. But then also we employ them greatly. That as far as this particular situation is concerned, the armed forces, all those who are responsible for maintaining, you know, security and combating external attacks are also, you know, they should rise to the occasion. You know, making sure that some technical expertise goes down in order to meet him track these people, because these people people are really, they are very, you know, I'm kind of say they are very tactical in their approach. And see why you want me a professional in some of these areas until we just trust and one share on be take you by surprise. So they need to really, on be country through any means.
They're already here. They're already here. That is why I was trying to tell you, said some of these vigilante groups, are sellers, leaderless people. Into they are communicating with them. But just one action in reality. They're already here. Coup d'etat issue, no matter. In terms of politically motivated. Among the grounds on asset. Into me, no room. Ukudo is when ya, and not some more connect patrolling fast.
Into anything, may send a mechano. Yes, need down. Near making sure say anything strange will be within your community. That's reported. But I think be as it may, the security agencies are also play more role, to the rise to education in order that they can tackle some of these matters, because one we are in charge of this particular issue. And then I think even if already we are in the country, then there should be a way to flush them out. Or there should be a way to respond to this particular matter adequately. More train for disaster to loot. And some of us statistics we are doing this, we are doing that. Or more taking some precautions. What are the measures that you're going to put in place already, so that the campaigning alone will not just yes, it's good that we engage, we campaign people as a cast through the media to get a lot of people, create more awareness in this particular. But they should also put measures in place so that we can combat the situation even before a lead to a kind of disastrous scenes. That's what once in Ghana we are always good at. That is the issue. But in Ghana here, you're trying what the aftermath after the incident. Let's see what has been the aftermath of the incident. Then we take it from there and we react to those things, and that is all. And you're making sure that there's some precautionary measures are taken in order to already combat the situation before say any unexpected issue pop up. So citizens, we need to, security is a collective matter. Rise to education and to support the security agencies with information. Let's feed them anything strange who be within our community. Just please make a call and then make sure that they will come to your aid. So rise to education is let's collaborate with the security agencies, and then I'm sure we'll be able to combat the situation.
Tony, then you be able to na Omafuna Wabadona yakon Damuquin.
Well, Anama, Medica, Kazakasa, Brafa, terrorism, Mona, or Ghana, BC, baby, I want to say, because countries like Togo and Burkina Faso, they have tasted this, and Togo, Dimpodia, and Chabia, they attacked
2 weeks.
2 weeks, and more attack more soldier for. And a Ghana vote, you have had that. A bitter taste of it, even though I see what, but Westgate Mall in Kenya, when Professor Uno through terrorist attack and a money we and you were all reason be I say you be a we and quite bit me fahona yet me a swano and I say Ghana for no as my colleague said, as hey we collaborate with our buying. Who be business or suspicious? I think that the lines are there. So be free. But I'm saying, as a national security, the statistics be by it was appalling to see those statistics. To the extent that on daily basis, almost 5,000 calls were going in as a prank calls. More free or more nice or more dear or more fair keke. So, or more free or more keke or more free or free. I know I catch to be one or deal off. Meanwhile, we have this serious issue at hand. I said, your boy home but Timon that cannot be our rule. Say, I dear in boy home by now, Frey Mola now did you, my girl. Yes, I know you're my boy, because at the end I can a serious. And there are certain activities it makes it ripe at any bit to strike at any point in time, because we hear me say Bokona Medimani incidents Bokono, it has change from chieftaincy issue to terrorism. That's how I see it. Because the ultimate corner as a people are only fighting because they have taste to fight, just like that. And I say it is no more about chieftaincy issue. I think the whole statement I say you shouldn't treat Boko issue as chieftaincy anymore, because nkɔfo timi yɛ
chieftains no yɛ
underlining, but it has assumed different dimensions. That's what we have to take it from. Sɛ bɛyɛ a yɛbɛtumi attack the issue well, because bɛyɛ 2 weeks ni a ɔmo kɔku nkurɔfoɔ from a marketplace no. I don't think say chief bi and say any issue bi na they just went there because of sergeant but no mutim, because terrorists they just strike just out of the blue. So I say the normal be bri ho no ma ma ya hwe yi a ya boy ho ba bituma ma mo de ayesadi, because we say the omo obi is complaining about economic hardship. So I say obi is complaining about economic hardship, and even our security, especially the police, as some boy home by and say we have their neck deep even in armed robbery cases. At the end of the police, if we can say terrorists, if we be a more musica monje, because you cannot guarantee that. So mutimi engage yourself in armed robbery there. And say anything is possible. And we baby I see general. Yɛn nyinaa no ɛsɛ obiara ɛbɔ ne ho mmɔden na wohu biribi na ho sɛ yɛ suspicious you smell rat in whatever is going on. The best thing you can do is to report. Then ɛbɛyɛ police for no bitimi aba hɔ na sɛ biribi mpo na sisi a ɛgye ɔmotimi avoid it. But ɛne kura yɛ kasa yi wohwɛ MPP abato ɛkɔ so ya yɛhu skirmishes at various places. Some of these things are you know issues a bit mama terrorism and the strike. These are terroristic activities. So I say when you very important. I didn't know about work a na obi konto kwa ho. Say Timomufono we the leaders should take a leading role in this fight. This is about to I to say a trust a be for now. At the end of the day, a be for no mama be a breeding grounds for fighting. The and I say terrorism for no. We shouldn't even think about who is coming from outside, but you should think about what is going on here.
Enemies within.
Enemies within. And because a basa on no your crowd, or not also or share on two mum or yonti. Or Kawan was who amount. I mean, about him be no maybe Hanoma, ya and send fire because. Omo mbeba ko mabi gina omba be sini paso so ati ase nti nti ahwe na ase ye na ya man no sign aye boldly to announce say omo basi so they are also devising other means omba successful. They are devising means.
So people don't go and everyone don't go into something and fail, you go to win.
That is it. Their modus of operandi, they keep changing it. They say are buying because who are buying what they come or more near my way. So they are also thinking about what they can do to, get their way through. Until a ma obia and the home. Yeah, may I baby or honoma and me and boaching ku or baby now where's any baby honoma and far home coaching and a me and boaching so baby I say any baby because of money I can say terrorists ever had ya. And I said okay. So some of these things, I see when you go baby, make sure you avoid that and go jina baby any pa aboard don't baby because I basically no more baby any baby brescia. So you should make sure that some of these things but these are precautionary measures a bit I take it. Okay. If you see something, say something. That is the only way to go because the police they act on intelligence. Even though a police for no, you know what you are, but this time around, some hanam some so as what I say.
Okay.
Some hanam, moment board don't you when you be here.
Okay.
And to say a police will beat my home band and say, so they are better with the intelligence, so they also act on it. And I think say security issue is a collective responsibility.
Okay. Menda Tony Sammy and Dennis, I see, then that's why bomb ma medi program is a broma muti and the massy. Our first so yet I say the send me at my best so is show her. Mr. Bibera undi munchon hofi home. May producer ye bright fuga. Shake us 1 minute na obwam way behind the controls. Na me executive producer ye calling school fee awuku. The sender ye may have my best so is share 198.3 FM ha wabonun sienti ye de hemi munyi amahodo amende bonso ye de babram kwame anamunyi makra home.